Very first Red Hook crit started as an idea for a birthday party. We had to do it when the streets were empty. That was the only time we could get away with it. We had no money, no permits, no permission. It was on the edge of being out of control. Oh my God! It just kind of snowballed from there.
It's been 10 years since David Trimble's birthday party gave birth, so to speak, to the Red Hook Crit. Since then, the Rogue Street romp with about a dozen riders has grown to a series of races in 4 cities around the world, attracting hundreds of athletes to each event from over 20 different countries. And while the venue has gotten bigger and the level of competition better than ever, it still stays true to its urban roots. At the very core of those is the bike itself. Modeled after track bikes and messenger bikes, they only have one fixed gear and no brakes, and define the character of the race as well as anything else. The machines are highly sophisticated, and some teams now come with their own mechanics. Still, even riders, there is no way to predict who will win.
I like to describe it as like the UFC of cycling. You know, you've got people from different backgrounds, and everyone kind of gets leveled out. Anyone can win. Different courses suit different people, and it's not necessarily the strongest guy that wins. It might be the most tactical, the most skillful, the quickest, and it's between it all, really.
It truly is the most democratic of bike races. Amateurs prep alongside decorated pros who increasingly are entering the crit in greater numbers, like Olympic gold medalist Callum Skinner. Riding for the UK in Rio last year, Skinner brought home a gold and silver medal in individual and team pursuit. Considered among the greatest track riders in the world, he was drawn to the Red Hook Crit by curiosity and its unique vibe.
One of the things that attracted me to the Red Hook was it's kind of like the atmosphere that comes along with it. Sometimes Olympic sport in general can be quite detached from the fans, whereas here it seems like everyone gets really involved, the fans can walk around. There's a really nice kind of vibe to the place. There's like after parties, there's pre-parties. It's just a completely different atmosphere, but also just the kind of madness of riding a fixed gear on a road circuit. Just, you know, there's so many different aspects that draw me to it.
Madness is in the details. Here, it's in the DNA. Off the start line, the riders immediately pedal to speeds approaching 35 miles an hour on the longest straightaway of the course. Approaching turn 1, fighting inertia and with no brakes to help, the riders must use all their leg strength to decelerate into the first of 2 hairpin turns. Here, the pack can easily break up as faster riders try to avoid those who have slowed too much. Riders want to exit this sector close to the front so they can quickly get up to maximum speed along the back side of the long straightaway. From here, they must navigate the final 2 turns, charging to victory in a final lap sprint. In all, the course is just over 1 kilometer, with 10 turns, 6 left, 4 right, and 2 gnarly hairpins. The longest straightaway, 290 meters. One of the challenges of the crit is that amateurs race alongside pros, so the technical aspects of the course must be tempered by the fact that anything can happen at any time, making this one of the most unpredictable and exciting spectacles in all of cycling. The Red Hook Crit is really an entire day and night of racing, with several qualifying heats determining who will be in the final race. How high a rider places may decide his position at the start of the final. In all, there are 5 heats where the top 18 from each qualify. Last chance race will be held for those riders just missed out, where the top 10 will round out the field of 100 for the evening's grand finale. Riders feel the pressure to survive all day long. If the grueling course isn't enough to intimidate a rider, the thought of going head-to-head with the best in the field should. The big dogs are getting ready to hunt, including the defending Red Hook Crit champion. All around the world, all throughout the year. Keep up with all of the action as the Red Hook Crit 2017 Championship Series rolls on, with stops in London, Barcelona, and Milan. Visit redhookcrit.com or join us on social media for more details. Few events allow the fans to get as involved with the riders as the Red Hook Crit. Here, the party atmosphere that spawned the race 10 years ago is not only present, but encouraged.
It started out as a New York thing, and watching them out there doing their thing, it's dope.
This is what cycling needs, and if cycling is going to get to where it needs to be from a spectator and sporting event perspective, it has to go in this direction.
But behind the scenes, the serious business of racing is ever present. Heat 3 provides an early showdown of the only 2 riders to win races in 2016, headlined by the defending champion, American Colin Strickland. This will be the first defense of his title, with a new team and new pressures.
Well, there's a huge amount of energy that comes with the start of the season and the first race, especially in Brooklyn. It's one of the most energetic races and best tended. Of course, that entails a few butterflies, and especially as coming back after winning the series last year.
Strickland simply dominated the Red Hook Series in 2016, beginning with a huge win in Brooklyn and winning the following 2 races in London and Barcelona. His overall title was never in doubt, but riding for the Specialized team, he had a secret weapon. Teammate Aldo Ilsik, who paved the way for him in each victory. Now rivals, Strickland will have to go up against his former ally and his former team.
Aldo was an incredible teammate. We had a great time, not only on the bike, but off the bike. Everything clicked. So we had a fairy tale season, as it were, finishing first and second overall, first in the team overall, first in individual overall. So with a 2-man team. Fortunately, it was a great year, but this year it's on again, and the stakes have changed. Rocket Espresso Specialized is marked. Consider yourself on notice.
Team Rocket Espresso Specialized will be hard to avoid. Now a 4-man team, they boast some of the best talent in the event. Along with Ilsik, they have the only rider to beat Strickland last year, German Stefan Schaefer. At the season finale in Milan, Schaefer started almost last in the field, only to work his way to the front.
Stefan is making himself known. He qualified in 70th something place. He is now gapping the field.
It was an impressive performance and immediately vaulted Schaefer to the upper echelon of Red Hook Crit riders.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Stefan Schaefer!
He's set to face Strickland in their qualifying heat, but knows the Brooklyn course is fraught with peril.
I'm pretty nervous right now. Something can happen, a crash, a flat, or even bad qualifying, so it's not easy.
The essence of the Red Hook Crit is racing and speed and technical ability, and a race that's like, you have to be strong, you have to be smart, you have to have a lot of skills.
It's like a fencing match. but your opponent and yourself have rattlesnakes, and you're trying to not only avoid getting bit by the rattlesnake, but to thrust it towards your opponent. Not only are you kind of racing your opponent, you're also racing the bite.
Dude.
Everyone, you need to know where you're at. If you don't know,
Heat 3 is about to begin. Like all the others, it's comprised of 12 laps. You must finish in the top 18 to move on to the final. Riders in heats are chosen at random, so it was the luck of the draw that set up this early matchup of champions. With professionals battling alongside amateurs, the strongest riders are naturally favored. Having a teammate in the race helps as well, to set the pace and to block others from chasing. Along with Schaefer, Specialized also has Alec Briggs in the race, and they immediately look to set the agenda at the front of the pack. A couple of laps in, one of the bright orange jerseys of Specialized conspicuous drops back. It's Schaefer, and clearly his fears of catastrophe seem to be coming true. Avoiding a crash on the hairpin, he suffers a flat and gets left behind while the rest of the field, now led by Strickland, moves ahead. Forced to exit the course, Schaefer is out of the qualifier. Unable to finish, he would normally be done for the day, but because he earned championship points last season, he'll get into the last chance race. In the meantime, his teammate Alec Briggs attacks up front and takes command. The British rider who made his mark in professional cyclocross is now in the lead with Strickland, content to stay close to his wheel. Briggs wins the heat and adds a bit of flair to his finish. But even with the loss of Schaefer, Team Specialized is making a powerful statement. They'll come after you with all four of their riders. But placing all four in the final is still an open question.
I almost crashed because there was no air in the front wheel, so I need to get out, so I was pretty disappointed. I hope it means that I have a spot in the last chance race. I think there's some spots for bad luck guys, so maybe I get one. We will see.
With another qualifier to complete, Schaefer's day still hangs in the balance. But for Colin Strickland, recovering from a hard-fought heat, his still has a long way to go. With the sun descending over the New York skyline, the field has been paired down to 2, with only one heat and the last chance race left to go. Trying to stay loose, Stefan Schaefer awaits word as to where he'll start in the last chance race. But still to go, teammate Aldo Ilsik prepares for the last heat. Focused on qualifying, he knows full well what his mission is for him and his team.
I'm still with Specialized, and I'm going into the race with the same mindset I did last year. I want the team to win. If that's me or one of my teammates, I don't care. It's all about teamwork. As long as one of our team wins, I'll just make everything possible that it happens.
Like all the other heats, the field is chosen randomly. Ilsik is not as focused on teamwork here as much as qualifying. But with a top 3 finish, he'll earn a starting position near the front in the final race. An important tactical advantage for a rider used to controlling the pace.
Heat number 5 underway. Aldo Ilsik, always a stalwart. He knows exactly how to control it. Those two hairpins on the far side of the course can be very, very strenuous for you. You start to ratchet up the pace little by little. 2 laps remain as we see Aldo Ilsec on the front. And now the speed is going to ramp up significantly as Aldo wants to maintain control. So now you have 3 riders clearly separating themselves, and check it out, Aldo sprint right now. Aldo now is fully in control as they come through turn 10. Aldo Ilsec, riding for Specialized Bicycles presented by Rocket Espresso, will take qualifying heat number 5.
With his dominating performance, Ilsec easily qualifies for the final. But for the riders who didn't make it near the top, their day's over, including a champion who perhaps underestimated the level of competition.
The athletes that compete here, they're of a really high standard, and I think that's maybe something that people might dismiss just seeing some stuff on YouTube or with it being quite a new race series. Sometimes people can think, oh, maybe the standard's not quite there, but honestly it is. Like, these guys are super fit, super quick, and I just couldn't keep up with them today. So yeah, that's testament enough, I think.
As for Schaefer, he's gotten word of his starting position in the last chance race.
You don't know where you're starting? No. Okay, I'm just waiting for the list. Just come see us at the front when you got there.
It's a heat designed exactly for what it's named for. The riders who barely missed or who had exemptions from past performances get one last chance to qualify. For Schaefer, the good news is that he's in the field. The bad news? He'll start at the back of the pack. Schaefer is used to this position. In last year's Milan crit, he worked his way from virtual last place to win the race. Known as a savvy and smart rider, he also has track bike experience. This combination has made him a Red Hook crit champion very quickly. But this is his first time in Brooklyn, and he must still overcome the challenges and hazards ahead.
Dude, check this out though. We now have 2 Specialized riders on the front of our field. That means we've got Stefan Schaefer and Eamon Lucas together already. Stefan Schaefer is a phenomenal athlete. He started last.
Riding along with teammate Eamon Lucas, once again Specialized poses a formidable force at the front.
The 2 Specialized Rocket Espresso riders on the front taking control.
Winning the last chance race means getting a starting position near the front in the final. Not winning means starting in the back of the field of 100. With the 2 Specialized riders in total control, the only question is, who will prevail, Schaefer or Lucas? Lucas takes a big lead and with the win will capture the coveted starting spot. For Schaefer, finishing second, he's just content to survive the day.
It was easier than I thought it would be because there were pretty much gaps between the riders, so I just did zigzagging like this, and then I was, after 2 rounds maybe, I was in the front. My abilities are a bit better than the rest of the riders, so it was easy today.
Team Specialized has placed all 4 of its riders in the final, setting up a showdown with Strickland and his Intelligentsia team. With the sun setting over Brooklyn, the drama of the final crit is next.
The bike race, you know, very close quarters. You see them go by on one side, they come around on the other side pretty quick. I think it's really fun to watch. Great spectator sport. Never would have thought that.
With the final race about to begin, Stefan Schaefer finds himself in the back of a pack of 100 riders. Once again.
My starting position will be 90 maybe. Yeah, but this course is harder to overtake because it's pretty narrow, and means a lot of trouble and work for me today.
Colin Strickland is in much better position. Due to his high placement in his heat, he's at the front. A definite advantage on the narrow course now bathed in lights. Racing at night follows in the tradition of the Crit's roots, when it was the only time the streets were empty. Now, they will race in front of thousands.
2, 1, go! Keep it clean at the start! Keep it clean at the start!
We are underway, ladies and gentlemen, with Red Oak Crit Brooklyn, number 10, presented by Blackterium.
A lap on the technical course takes about a minute and a half to complete. Early on, riders want to stake a position near the front of the pack in order to avoid trouble in the rear. Stefan Schaefer immediately begins his move toward the front, but it's a difficult task to navigate the tight turns on a course that always seems to be closing in. Aldo Ilsik keeps an eye on the leaders, making sure none of the favored riders gains an advantage with an early attack. The first lap is also important because the first to cross the line will win bonus points that count toward the overall standings at the end of the season. Specialized Alec Briggs makes his move.
But it was Alec Briggs! Alec Briggs took home that first lap green with a little bit of a wheelie bike throw. Alec Briggs taking his second.
Into the second lap, the team tactics begin. Colin Strickland's Intelligentsia teammate, Marius Petracci, attacks and opens a gap. Hoping to set a fast pace, Petracci knows that early breakaways such as this rarely succeed. But if he's able to force the other riders to keep up, he can make weaker opponents wilt early, improving the chances for Strickland to outlast the field. But Team Specialized has strength, experience, and Aldo Ilsik in position to control the field, not allowing Strickland or any of his teammates to attack as well.
Marius Petracci, ladies and gentlemen. Marius Petracci, a Romanian rider for Intelligentsia Racing with a significant gap very, very early in this bike race. 25 laps to go.
In cycling, there's power in numbers. In a large group, riders can draft off each other, conserving energy and greatly increasing speed. Against such a force, a lone rider has little chance to outlast the field. Team Intelligentsia's strategy is meant to create a crushing pace that would wear out the others and allow Strickland's strength and speed to outlast them. But the gambit also poses a risk. If you can't break up the field, you're helping the other strong riders get to the front. In this case, thanks to Aldo Ilsik's masterful pace setting, Team Specialized is in control. The blistering pace also strings out the field, creating a perfect opportunity for Stefan Schaefer to make his move. By the time Petracci is caught in lap 5, the German has passed most of the field.
He's the one who did all that work. He made it look pretty easy, but he also brought up all of the Specialized Rocket Espresso riders with him. We're going to see a shift in tactics. Let's see if anybody makes an attack, a counter-attack right now.
With everyone once again together in lap 6, the question is, who will be next to attack? Strickland stays close to the front, but he's surrounded by the Specialized team, which is controlling the pace. They once again are serving notice that anyone making a move will have to go through their gauntlet. Strickland stays in contact with the leaders. Known to attack early, he looks for any advantage which can give him his opportunity.
Coming around the top of our field, we've got some Irene Carrera riders in white. Right there, we've got some Bosnia riders on the front as well. That was your top qualifier, number 65, Giovanni Longo riding through.
But Aldo Ilsik is maintaining control of the pace and not allowing anyone to get by. This tactic is his specialty due to his ability to chase anyone down at any time. He knows that Schaefer is making his way to the front, so for now, his main job is to see to it that the pace allows Schaefer to do so.
To be able to stay together. Deep bike channel could be very dangerous. Team Ginelli Chrome could be
Schaefer is using the opportunity to his best advantage.
three of those Italians.
With each turn, he passes more and more riders.
Team tactics together.
Reminiscent of last year's victory in Milan, he again shows his strength and savvy on this more challenging race course. Into lap 9, Schaefer has done it again. Now alongside Strickland, he has set the stage for another showdown between last year's only Red Hook Crit champions. Now, with all the best riders in position up front, the game begins. Who will attack first? The uncertainty creates a bit of a lull as every rider eyes the other for the slightest sign of weakness. It's the perfect place for Strickland to attack. With just over 14 laps to go, he makes his move.
Colin Strickland putting on a show on the front of the field. Rider number 1, Colin Strickland. Colin Strickland is taking advantage of the hesitation in the field. Colin Strickland has just attacked this field at the same moment he attacked the race last year.
Not known as a rider with explosive closing ability, Strickland looks to open a gap and build upon it. But Schaefer sees the attack and now in a position to challenge for the lead, sets off to chase down Strickland's break. With an explosive effort, the two champions gap the field with a relentless breakaway that leaves everyone else quickly behind. At the halfway point, Colin Strickland takes the lap and collects some mid-race bonus points. But more importantly, he's now in a duel with his rival and nemesis, Stefan Schaefer. The chase group is not without its own cat-and-mouse game. Knowing that his team leader is battling out in front for the overall win, Aldo Ilsik and his specialized team continue to control the pace, making sure that no one is allowed to close the gap. It's become a two-man race, but with almost 13 laps to go, Strickland and Schaefer have much work still to do. They know that an attack this early would mean either would be isolated, so they agree to take turns at the front, pulling for each other to conserve energy and stay ahead of the field. The strategy is to keep each other in the lead until a final attack, an uneasy but necessary alliance if either is to win the race. Now riding laps averaging over 30 miles per hour, the pace is relentless. It's at this point where fatigue and grizzled nerves can take their toll. As seen all day, the nature of the race can change in an instant. With just over 5 laps to go, the Red Hook Crit takes an unexpected turn. At the head of the chase pack, Cesar Valenzuela swerves into a barrier and crashes, taking other riders with him. The most notable is Ilsik, who miraculously gets up from the wreckage and gets back on his bike. Since there's an injury, the red flag is waved, bringing the race to a halt until the incident is cleared. The entire field must now regroup and restart.
So when we do our restart, We will honor the gap.
In the meantime, Aldo Ilsik makes his way back to the start line, bruised and bloodied, but not finished. Having dictated the pace, the sudden turn of events has thrown the entire outcome into doubt. Can the riders recover, or are there more surprises in store? We'll have the answer when coverage of the 10th annual Brooklyn Red Hook Crit continues. All around the world, all throughout the year. Keep up with all of the action as the Red Hook Crit 2017 Championship Series rolls on. With stops in London, Barcelona, and Milan. Visit redhookcrit.com or join us on social media for more details. With just 5 laps to go in a 28-lap race, the Red Hook Crit has taken a dramatic turn. Mexican Cesar Valenzuela, riding at the front of the chase group, crashed into a barrier, taking down the world's second-ranked rider, Aldo Ilsik. The crash has prompted a red flag, temporarily halting the race. Riders will now regroup and start in staggered intervals depending on their position at the time of the crash. Since Colin Strickland and Stefan Schaefer held a 23-second lead over the rest of the field, they will leave first. Having been in a feverish 2-man battle for most of the race, the question now is how the 15-minute delay has affected them. They had been taking turns at the front to conserve energy, waiting for the right moment to attack for the finish. But now it remains to be seen if that delicate dance has been put to a new tune. In the back, the chase group, once being controlled by Aldo Ilsik, is now over 20 seconds behind. Ilsik, suffering from the crash and in the back of the field, needs to reestablish himself at the front if he is to have any chance to be on the podium. The battle between Strickland and Schaefer is one of contrasting styles. Strickland is known for his dominating strength and ability to open up a lead and hold it. He is not as strong at closing the gap. Schaefer, on the other hand, has now proven his amazing ability to come from behind. In a sprint to the finish, he clearly holds the advantage. With only 3 laps to go, Strickland can be expected to attack soon, but time is running out. In the chase group, Ilsik is trying to move up the pack. He needs to be in front if he is to maintain control of the pace and to have any chance to be on the podium. Like Schaefer, the task isn't easy because there are other riders also blocking his path. Up front, Schaefer takes a turn in the lead. Both riders are still shadow boxing, sizing each other up to see who will make the final move. In the chase, Aldo Ilsik has amazingly moved toward the front. He's come from behind to once again be in a position to control the pace. But with less than 3 laps to go, he also has his eye on a podium finish in third. Strickland has moved back into the lead. Is it his turn, or is it his move? 3 laps to go, and still there is no sign that either leader is faltering, or that the rest of the field is slowing. One thing is certain. Team Specialized has regrouped and taken its customary position at the front of the chase group. While they're in control, there is little chance for any counterattacks to either threaten Schaefer or put Ilsik in a position where he can't take third place. For the two leaders, they continue to trade places in the front, neither betraying a move. It is classic cycling tactics, but it's also a dangerous game when there is little time left and timing is everything. In the pack, David Santos attacks. It has become a battle for third.
Two laps remaining, gentlemen. 2 to go. 2 laps remaining here tonight. 2 laps remaining here tonight. Colin Strickland and Stefan Schaefer, two very good, strong riders. See 2 laps to go at Red Hook Crit Brooklyn, number 10, presented by Rockstar Games. It is going to be an amazing feature finish here tonight.
With under 2 laps to go, Strickland again goes ahead of Schaefer. If he is to open up any kind of gap, he must look to do it now. The battle for third is no less intense. Ilsik counters Santos with an attack of his own to once again lead the chase group. All the while, he keeps a close eye on any rider attempting to make a move toward the leaders. Approaching the final lap, Strickland finally attacks and opens a gap on Schaefer. Schaefer is losing ground, but with his superior closing ability, is he waiting for a moment of weakness from Strickland? Or is he finally running out of gas? Strickland holds his lead, but Schaefer will not be dropped. Through a day of grueling heats and 27 laps of high-octane racing, the outcome all comes down to less than 1 kilometer. Out of the hairpin turns, Strickland seems to have hit a headwind and slows down. Schaefer sees the hesitation and attacks.
It's now just past Colin Strickland.
In the pack, Ilsik makes a move as well. It's now a double-barreled attack from the Specialized team, closing in on 2 podium spots in the last half lap. Schaefer explodes to a commanding lead with only the final 2 turns to go. Starting in the back of a pack of 100 riders, he is about to seal the deal on yet another improbable victory. But the race isn't over. Some 20 seconds back, Aldo Ilsik is making a move of his own as he attacks one last time to break away for a third-place finish.
Here is your finishing sprint with Aldo Ilsik getting third. Aldo Ilsik just got third.
With a first and third, Team Specialized Rocket Espresso has made good on the promise of its expectations. In a tour de force of strength, speed, and tactics, they have taken the Red Hook Crit by storm and proved their dominance. In the end, Schaefer wins by just under 4 seconds over Colin Strickland. It's his second Red Hook Crit victory in a row.
Team Specialized, presented by Rocket Espresso, has taken tonight's feature event. An amazing show of tactics.
We'll be back with the
fitness.
podium presentation after this. All around the world, all throughout the year. Keep up with all of the action as the Red Hook Crit 2017 Championship Series rolls on. With stops in London, Barcelona, and Milan. Visit redhookcrit.com or join us on social media for more details. The 10th annual Brooklyn Red Hook Crit will go down as one of the best ever. Stefan Schaefer wins his second straight race over defending champion Colin Strickland. Aldo Ilsik comes in third for the 5th straight time since last season. Schaefer overcame a 90th place start position and some other challenges as well.
First lap after the restart was pretty hard because the legs felt pretty bad, but I think for Colin it was the same, so it was the same. My strategy was to don't go over the limit, so no, not 100%, just 90%, and keep an eye on what Colin is doing, how he rides the turns, and when is the leading of him, and then at the end, when he attacked me, I knew I'm 10% left, and he always looked back, and then at the head straight, I attacked, and then it worked pretty well.
I think I really pegged it out of turn 3, the second hairpin. Looked back and he didn't make a big effort to close it, so I just put my head down and tried to go as hard as I could. Held it till the last lap through the hairpins, started running out of a little gas, started seeing a shadow coming up, and we hit the headwind section. Took maybe a couple seconds